Ever have a reef aquarium get neglected tank syndrome? The best way to avoid it is to select equipment that's high in performance and easy to maintain. Let's build an ultra easy maintenance aquarium. Welcome to Potomac Reef, my journey juggling our 180-gallon reef aquarium with family, work, and travel. This episode will cover equipment choices that provide great life support and make maintenance as simple as possible. Let's face it, if it's a pain to do, you're probably going to blow it off. In the last episode, I covered the considerations I had when planning the various elements of my reef tank. This episode will dive into the specific equipment that I've picked that will help me to achieve my desire to minimize the maintenance burden while creating the best environment possible for my animals and for my family. I know, I picked an all-in-one aquarium system, so you might assume I didn't have to do any of this. However, while the Red Sea tank did cover the bases with solid equipment, it also left some room for optimization, both in performance and in ease of maintenance and use, and I like to tinker. Additionally, my design objectives for travel friendliness implied that maintenance doesn't have to be done while I'm away, so reducing the overall maintenance requirements helps. Let's dive into key areas like the skimmer and main pump, reactors, water changes, evaporation replacement, and equipment cleaning. When I started out, I instantly ditched the included Red Sea skimmer that some reefing friends on Reef Sanctuary suspect was designed in the old Soviet Union. It was very big and noisy and frankly, outdated. I went with a popular Nios 160 skimmer, which was compact, very pretty, and performed well while running. However, the pump kept fouling, which prevented the skimmer from restarting, and it was a total pain to remove it from inside to clean. After having one motor replaced and having the customer support rep lose patience with me, it had to go. I looked long and hard at the smaller Bubble King units, but in the end went with a skimmer with performance and maintenance pluses. The Reef Octopus 150 INT has an external and controllable DC pump, which I love. By mounting the pump controller in the cabinet with a sump instead of in my electrical area, it's really easy to disconnect the pump from the controller and remove the pump from the stand for cleaning. Additionally, the controllable pump lets me reduce power, and thus the foam level, at any time that I'm worried about the skimmer overflowing, like during feeding, when the sump level is high, or I'm adding chemicals. While removing and cleaning the skimmer cup is easy, it gets a little more involved if you're using a drain line as I am. I decided to put on an AquaDriver self-cleaning head to keep the neck clean and performing at maximum efficiency, and to minimize its reliance on me. Likewise, I drain the skimmer effluent to a waste container with an auto shutoff that stops the skimmer when full. The Reef Octopus comes with a float switch that mounts into the skimmer cup to do this, but I had already installed a Neptune optical sensor in my waste container for my previous skimmer. I'm running a Neptune core as my main pump, and like the skimmer, it is a controllable DC pump. I mounted its controller next to the skimmers, and I can pull it out for cleaning equally easily, with no fishing cables through holes in the stand. I had thought there wasn't much room left to innovate in pumps, but wow, I was clearly wrong. This thing is amazing. When I select feed mode, it goes to 1% power, which is just enough to keep water barely flowing in the return pump and preventing a back siphon. And it came with a union on it, so removing it for cleaning is a breeze. I liked the clean look of the Aquamax reactors showcased by forum posters like Broadfield, and put one in up out of the way for GFO. Unfortunately, it was a pain to service with little delicate plastic thumb screws hidden under the plumbing, and the location made getting any leverage on it very hard. Additionally, the GFO always solidified around the central pipe, which made replacing it an excruciating ordeal. I traded sump real estate for convenience and replaced it with two Avast Spyglass reactors. Removing them is as simple as lifting the canister up and taking it over to the sink. It's very easy to change media and doesn't clog. The GFO reactor is run straight off of the Red Sea manifold that was intended for the chiller. The carbon reactor uses a small power head, and I use the apex to turn it off for a few seconds once a day to ensure that the carbon doesn't clump at the top screen. In the basement, I set up my mixing area where I can store 55 gallons of RODI freshwater and make 55 gallons of salt water. A pump lets me move water around and mix the salt water. I upgraded my RODI unit to remove chloramines and increase pressure with the addition of some extra stages and a booster pump. The The Red Sea tank comes with a compartment to hold RODI and a float valve for it to drain into the sump, but I didn't want to have to carry jugs of water up to the tank each week, threatening the hardwood floors. So as I mentioned in the last episode, I replaced it with a system from SpectraPure that doesn't require any wires between the sump and the storage container, in keeping with my bucket-free operation. The tank came with 4 power heads to provide in-tank circulation, and they work well. However, they're mounted in the back compartment and require some work to take out for periodic cleaning. The difficulty is both in getting them out of the tank in the first place, as well as unplugging them from the electrical center to get them over to the sink. One option was to just bring a bucket of vinegar to them, but I decided to just get a 4-plug splitter so that they can easily be unplugged and controlled as a group from the apex. This is a new change, and I'll let you know how it works out. Additionally, I had a Vortec MP40 from my last tank and decided to gamble putting it in plain view for the increased flow. So far I haven't heard any complaints, and the corals seem to like it. I bought a spare wet side for it, but they must have changed the design a bit. It sort of works, but it is so loud and I'm just going to have to wait and see if a new MP40 shows up to use it. Cleaning the wet side is really easy anyway with some vinegar, so I'm not too concerned. What's hot? All these choices have worked out great. I think I've removed as much hassle from keeping things running. My union ball valves from BRS, while expensive, have been great and continue to be easy to turn. The core with its 1% setting has made feeding and maintenance much smoother. I really love the external skimmer pump. What's not? I wish I had put a larger pump in my mixing station. It's a bit slow and mixing could be more vigorous. Saving a few bucks here was a bad call. While I was able to resell the Nio skimmer, I've gone through 3 so far. The hidden flow pumps are nice, but a gang of MP40s would have been easier to maintain and offered some cool flow features. This was a trade-off I went into eyes wide open, however. Overall grade, A-. I love the tank now, but I did buy 3 skimmers and 2 media reactors before I got it right. Caveat. This was an all-in-one tank system that I knew I'd upgrade over time. I have, however, changed most changeable things. While I'm at peace with that, you may not be. The more cost-effective route would have been to build the tank up from the beginning, which I chose not to do for a lot of reasons, many already shared in this channel, and all of which I'm still good with. This was intended to be a nice living room capable tank, not my dream tank. That one is still out there. That's it for this episode of Potomac Reef. Next up, controllers. Thanks for watching. Click like if you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, and happy reefing.